Rush not into fights. Long is the war. Only by surviving it will you prevail. Clones you may be, but the Force resides in all life forms. Use it you can to quiet your mind.
Welcome, lads and lasses, we've made it. We've reached the one episode that set a perfect example of bait and switch, where we were led to believe that we would get more adventures going forward with our mean, green, big-eared machine that is Master Yoda. But, unfortunately, we did not. We are settling in for Season 1, Episode 1, titled Ambush, the premise of which follows Yoda and 3 clones of the Senate Guard, named Thaya, Reese and Jack, who are embarking on an alliance negotiation to the planet of Toydaria, where they are intercepted by Asajj Ventress at the orders of Count Dooku, making his first appearance in the series chronologically, and, at the start, who compete for the allegiance of King Katunko of Toydaria as a vital route for trade through the galaxy. Given the position of Ryloth from Toydaria in the last episode, and how intensely the Separatists were trying to maintain that world, it's no question as to why they want Toydaria. This episode is the one that started it all, technically. We began with a great insight into the depth of perception that Yoda possesses in the Force, and gauged a more comprehensive understanding of his value for life. But in some of his dialogue, he's led firmly into the belief that the war is the Jedi's responsibility to end and maintain. After Ventress's attack on Yoda and the clones above world, they crash several miles out from Katunko's position, and where Ventress tries to squash Katunko's hopes for a meeting with Yoda, she instead challenges him to defeat her and her forces, and promises that, should he win, she'll relinquish the Separatist stake in this world for the Republic. We know, of course, though, she won't. Liar! The way this plays out is certainly designed to be a more comical experience and light-hearted episode compared to a lot of the things we've seen prior to this, and will later experience in the Clone Wars. And it works. While the idea of what the Separatists want to do with this world hangs over it like a bad cloud, it's an exciting adventure that draws a lot of the best facets from Yoda and lays out his sensibilities in the most engaging way possible for both kids and adults alike, by having him be the teacher as well as the leader. As previously mentioned, he's partnered with clone Lieutenant Thaya, Reese and Jack, who are clearly established troopers as they've been given armor paint at this point in the war, which tends to go to troopers that have been in the field for quite some time, and all of their own individualities are a lot more apparent at this point, in keeping with the trend of the show given the clones' character arcs, as well as the Jedi and villains. We are given hints throughout the episode of who the troopers are and what they're like, which is the best style of storytelling in my opinion, letting the audience figure out for themselves as to who the character is. The 3 lessons that Yoda tries to imprint on the clones you could relate back to the Jedi in the initial stages of the war. Thaya is rule-abiding but quick to rush into battle. Yoda counsels him and reminds him that the war will be long-lasting, so protect yourself by staying vigilant and mindful of your movements. This is an ironic lesson as the Jedi rushed into the war when Geonosis was attacked, and they've become almost engulfed in the belief that staying vigilant means to engage in battle and prevent the Separatists' invasion across the galaxy themselves. Reese is driven by taking out the enemy single-handedly rather than allowing his brothers to support him, which could pertain to the likes of Anakin, Nadar Veb, Quinlan Vos, and even Ahsoka, to name a few. With their lack of hesitation when it comes to engaging the enemy, Yoda tries to remind him to tread carefully as the single mindset could be his downfall. Lastly, with Jack, who is an itchy trigger finger and limited by his own hubris and reliance on weaponry to dictate his abilities on the battlefield, Yoda suggests that he start using his mind to persevere in life. The idea obviously being the consequences of irrational thinking and behaviour is a lesson no one should have to learn twice, Anakin. This could be reaching for sure, but it does feel almost hypocritical of Yoda to present these ideas to 3 clones when he couldn't even instruct members of his own council and religion to follow the same teachings. Then again, Yoda's tortured enough by the end of the war for his shortcomings, so let's not rag on him too hard just yet. The theme of this episode is undoubtedly revolving around trust and learning. The clones need to learn they can trust Yoda and themselves, Katunko needs to learn to trust Yoda, and Yoda needs to learn to trust himself, and that they'll be able to make it to Katunko before Ventress can enact any irreversible damage on the king. The interaction with the clones and Yoda is the heart of this one, and truly one of the more memorable moments coming out of the entire series. It's always nice to see Yoda, and always being the teacher is just a familiar image to really bring audiences into the series, and to experience a new understanding of Yoda at almost full strength and in his prime, as ridiculous as that sounds, was an amazing moment to witness that should be appreciated by everyone, as it certainly felt less animated than, well, this. This episode is just a good bit of fun. There's nothing overtly deep to go into beyond Yoda's teachings of the clones and what they'll learn from it, enacting some of those lessons to save him later in the episode, and I guess a nice comparison against Dooku's teachings of Ventress, to be more cold, calculating, and utilising intimidation over a negotiation. Plus, the incompetence of the droids goes a long way to help with some of the comedic moments of this episode, and obviously gives our heroes the win.
But I just got promoted!
It's a decent enough episode, and to be the one that kicked off the journey that fans would experience for years after, is a good place to start in terms of enticing audiences to stick around for a bit. And in the sense of a chronological order, it certainly works a lot more coherently when you have the understanding of the previous episode titled Supply Lines. That's going to do it for this one though, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, hit the like button as it helps things out a lot. Drop a comment down below, let me know what your thoughts are of this episode. And don't forget to subscribe as I've got a lot more on the way. And until next time, take care, and may the Force be with you.